though we're doing something, we think that we heal. I'm like, Olivia, it's happening again.
Yeah.
It's happening again. I'm at zero. But it's like, sometimes the silly mistakes we make, it's just so much fun. It's even sometimes so much fun to make mistake. It's fun to go through the pain and then being just childish about it. And showing people that healing work is just pure joy.
Yes.
And then let's not be scared together. Let's play with it together.
Let's play together.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Be Sexessful podcast, where we talk about becoming more you in and outside the bedroom. I'm your host, Olivia. I'm a sex, love, and relationship coach, and my passion is activating people's sexual energy so they can start living a more turned-on life. This is our very first episode, so we're popping this podcast cherry with my guest, Hazal Ergun. She is my roomie and overall partner in crime on this healing journey. We're going to be touching on topics such as the beauty of seeing someone in their vulnerability, the power of sexual energy healing, and we're going to tell you about our first magic mushroom journey. So tune in and get a taste of what our world really looks like.
All right. Welcome to the first episode.
Oh, yes, welcome. Everyone, welcome.
Today, I have here with me Hazal, the one and only, the galactic shaman that travels dimensions.
My horse.
My dear, dear friend, my roommate.
Yes.
And yes.
I'm so happy to be here.
Let's get into
I
it.
traveled from other room to here.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I'm excited. Let's see what questions you have for me.
Beautiful.
Let's see what answers I have for everyone. So,
yes.
Oh, let's do this.
Okay, so let's talk about the magic of sexual energy.
Mm-hmm.
So, Hazal, tell me a little bit about maybe your first experience with sexual energy and how you started to view it, from a different perspective. And
so it was like such a long journey for me, to be honest, to meet the energy, sexual energy, and the magic with it. It didn't happen overnight. I guess it was like a process over the time, letting go a lot of layer, a lot of the traumas, a lot of cultural and the lineage suppressed emotions. But the first time it was intentional when we had our first mushroom ceremony. Mm-hmm. That was my intention to allow myself to tap into sexual energy, the power and magic of it. And it was the first time that I go to that dimension of the pleasure. And it just felt like it's so powerful. Mm-hmm. And it's like such a beautiful and unknown world for me. And then when I dive into that, I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, just even having intention to allowing myself to feel it was like a magical beginning, and the rest is just down the hill.
Yes. Okay, so let's just dig in a little bit of like what that actually looked like and what that was. So just describe like what was going on. It was like all of a sudden you were feeling sensations, or?
So for me, actually, that experience wasn't much about feeling the sexual energy. It was just letting go of the things me blocking to feel it. Mm. So it was like a process to sit with the traumas I had to go through, sit with it. And the most interesting thing was like, first time like I was fully tuned in with the suppressed emotions in my body. Mm-hmm. And it was so interesting that like I saw that how energy finds a place to store in our body, and then if we don't allow to ground or release to it, it just like stays there and it creates more bigger and bigger blockage. So when we were doing that, like through the end of the ceremony, I all of a sudden that was like such an interesting moment. Even though we didn't eat for hours, we just were drinking water. All of a sudden my belly got just so bloated. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what is going on here? And when I tune into the energy, that the bloated energy there, it was just, that is the suppressed emotions. And the suppressed sexual energy just cannot find a way to move in my body. And then I just intentionally danced intentionally moved my body. Just I wanted to ground. The energy is not serving to me, and I feel like that kind of initiated my Kundalini awakening. And then I felt like after then that the sexual energy had more room in my body, in my energy body, and my physical body had a place to move, and it just started the magic.
Yes, beautiful. And I was there for that experience as well. I got to witness it.
I witnessed a lot.
Yes. Yeah, it really makes me think, about how much trauma we store in the body. And as you mentioned, it's like the body remembers, has memory, and it holds all this information. And I loved how you really got the download of, dance and like move the body
Yes.
for it to release.
It's just like it was the moment that how everything is just pure intention. So when I tune into the energy, what is in my body, and I just intentionally moved my body to release it, and it released. It was not like just let me move my body. It was intentionally moving my body to allow, open the space to that energy to move, and then just let go and ground the energy doesn't serve me. And it was as simple as the intention, and it just worked beautifully.
Yeah, I love it. So, yeah, I think that's key, especially when I'm doing sessions. I really focus on, hey, let's recycle this energy into Mother Nature. So I always do it with the intention of, okay, we're releasing and recycling, letting, earth take it, and in a way, transmute it. And yeah, so I'm curious, maybe let's dig into
What else?
yeah,
What else?
a little bit more of, maybe some of this energy embodiment. We do so much energy embodiment work together. So let's get into just embodying the energy to then either release or move it or transmute it.
So, as I always say when I do the work with you, it's just like it happens so naturally. It's just like we just open the space, having a couple of deep breaths, and I just leave my body and go where I need to go in that moment. So energy embodiment with you always happens so easily. It's just like when you guide me, where do I feel it? And I try to tune in, I try to talk, and then the answers comes and it just takes me to next. And sometimes it is so deep and it's so, I feel so hypnotized, I even don't remember the answers. It's just magical. But the thing is that when we ask more questions, what is there, it gives answer. It takes me, what is the trauma stored there? It's coming from my family, it's coming from a past life, it's coming from the childhood, or the energy has another message. And then it's just down the steps, it's like a stairs. When we go, we ask one question, we go the next, answer comes, we go the next, we go the next, and then totally releasing that energy. And then the most beautiful thing with the sessions with you is that we focus on what is the stored energy not serving, releasing, and also we always focus on what we want to create. And it's so beautiful that when we go on to the final stage, what energy we want to create, what energy we want to call, and then it's just like a pure manifestation, because we allow ourselves to feel that energy we want to manifest. And when we become that, we're like, oh wow, first of all, I have potential to be that, because now I feel what I want to create and manifest and embody, and also to see how it feels, having a glimpse of the feeling of it. I guess it's another magic in that.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Was that the question?
Yeah, we went there.
What was the question?
We just...
Let me talk.
No, I think it's yes. No, I'm just making so many connections. So, asking those questions and really allowing it to take you on the journey, I think that's key too. So that's the first thing that kind of stood out to me. I think specifically, part of my journey, I was always asking, why am I feeling this? But I feel like those weren't the right questions. It was until I just started to get more curious of okay, show me this, or maybe explain to me this. It started really clicking more. And that's the approach that I take too with, with everyone I work with, it's like, hey, let's get curious, let's ask these questions, and let's not also be afraid of the answers. So sometimes I know for me, it's like when I won't even ask the question, solo, but I know working with someone to ask the question really helps me feel like, okay, like they're with me, I can still like go into those unknown places and, maybe feel those things that maybe I was afraid to feel on my own. And with the tapping into the feeling, I mean, that could be tricky sometimes, right?
Yeah, because it's so interesting. Like sometimes we don't allow ourselves to feel, and then if you're in that space, you just like block that you capable of feeling that. But in the sessions, also I feel like I'm so much in the experience with you when you guide me. I'm so much in it, but also I feel like I'm still an observer to my experience too. So whenever there are feelings you guide me through, if I feel like I cannot go into that, I'm still observing that I cannot go into that, and I have a blockage there. I'm not allowing myself. I have the fear. It's like you there guiding. Also, I feel like my own my consciousness is also there as an observer. So that is also bring a lot of beautiful awareness in the moment. Like these are the things I allow myself to feel. These are the things I allow myself to talk to and get answered. But also these are the things I'm still not ready. Maybe we go to next. It's just like such pure, clear understanding and awareness happening every time.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that I've learned, from Tantra and doing this work is, this ability to feel, which maybe I was afraid to, feel the sadness, feel the grief, feel the pain or the suffering. When in reality, if I felt it, I would be able to just connect more and, go through it versus either resist and then it keeps, coming up.
I guess that's happening like when I try to do my own practices on people. It's just like, I guess there's like a fear or perception. They feel like when they allow to feel sadness, grief, anger, whatever, they feel like they're gonna be trapped in that.
Yeah.
But like it's different when we are just like, I feel like consciously choose to go to that moments and feelings. Again, it's an intentional and conscious step to heal. So you just sit there, you feel it, but this time it's temporary. And if you don't do that work, it's gonna be permanent. So actually, the decision we are making from fear is making that emotions permanent. But if we make that decisions from healing, it's gonna be temporary. If one last time sitting with the sadness and then allowing it to transform. So I feel like so many people holding that, like, if I allow myself to go back to that trauma, what if I just stay there? What if I cannot let go? What if I'm always like back to that sadness? It's just like fear of that. What if I relive through and stuck there? But it's not like that.
Yeah, and it's fascinating because in the moment, we're just so afraid that it's gonna last forever, right? Or that it's gonna like take over, or that we're not able to handle it. But I mean, part of the human experience is that we can't handle everything. We can handle all these emotions, and there's so much beauty in the exploration of tapping into the feeling and then seeing, even those shifts in perspective, like, oh, that's why I was always so sad or felt so much abandonment. I think we could maybe talk a little bit about some of that work that we did when, those feelings of, of like being abandoned that were so deep in the subconscious that you didn't know even existed.
So when we were doing the last time, I guess my motherly side, I even wouldn't imagine that emotions would come. It's just like so fascinating how as a child my mom was just like going to work like everyone's moms. Like if you become a mom one day, it's just like like our daily life. She was just going to work. But like me as a child receiving that message as like, oh, my mom, I need her but she's not here. I have emotions, I have feelings, I am sick, whatever it's I'm going through, but she's not here. And then like I start crying so much and releasing. And as a child, how I made that such a big of a deal, and the subconscious wiring that fear of abandonment. And then just the if someone leaves me when I need them, I don't know how to handle it. It's so painful. And I realized that I carried that pain over the years, that I just coded it from my mom.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect it to come, that I'm like, I need to cry this. There's so much emotion. I keep crying. I'm like, Olivia, don't stop it. I need to cry.
Yeah, witnessing that, I was like, wow. I mean, as kids, we really are so sensitive.
I'm like, my mom is just going to work. Stop being dramatic. It's okay. She's going to come back. Like, just let it go. But I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Oh.
And then the other crazy thing, like on that time as a child, I was getting sick a lot. Like I had like so sensitive tonsils. I was getting bacterial infection all the time, fevers, emergency rooms. And then because it was the only way for my mom not to go to work, saying that, oh, my daughter is sick, I need to stay at home. And then she was staying with me. And then at one moment, I would go back to that moment that I was sick, laying down. My mom was there with me. I was in so much physical pain in my little child body, but I was having pleasure with it because my mom was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just like how my subconscious mind as a child created so many sicknesses just to be with my mom. That was another coding, like, okay, if I get sick, I can get some motherly attention and love. It's just so fascinating, I guess, when we go back to that memories and the moments, and to see that how our brain is wiring the things, thinking that it's serving to us, but when we grow out of it, it's not serving us anymore, and it's time to just break through it.
Yeah. And yeah, that's what I see too, is all about how can we rewrite that truth and create differently. You know, now that we're conscious of it, all right, let's create it another way.
Yes, and realizing that it just happened in the past, and I don't want it to happen to me anymore, or I want to change it, I want to transform it. So every time, like with your sessions, I feel like it's just every time something else comes. And so unexpected, and when it comes, I'm like, oh wow, now it makes sense, but I had zero clue. I had zero awareness, but it just comes.
Yeah, and then my favorite part of that session was, well, there were a few good parts, but the feminine energy, you know, how the fear crept up of you didn't want to sit on that pillow because you're like, I can't.
Oh, wow. So the funny thing with Olivia's sessions, every time she asked me to embody the energies, whatever is coming. And then like I go so hypnotized, so deep down in it. And then she's like, okay, now embody this. I'm like, do I have a body? Like, she asked me to move. I'm like, am I in my body? Where to move? How to move? Where's my body? I'm like, Olivia, give me some time. I go to the void. I go through the dimensions and time and all. So give me some time. But when we were doing that, you were like, okay, now it's time to embody divine feminine. And I'm like, Olivia, I feel nauseous.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm about to throw up. I don't know where is this coming. Wait, I'm not ready. The fear kicked in because I felt like divine feminine is so pure, it's so powerful, but my body and my consciousness was just not fully ready to go into that. So I had to sit with that nauseousness and the fear, whatever emotion is there, I just sit with it, breathe through, like letting go and allowing some space. And then I was like a little bit half. How much with it? Like I was able to go there half. But I cannot wait to go full.
Yeah, I was like, let's do levels. Let's start with like maybe 0.5, you know?
I'm like, yeah, I can do 0.5. I can handle 0.5, but all? No, not yet.
Yeah.
That pillow, we're going to revisit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's fascinating too because, yeah, right before there is that fear that takes over. But once you embody the energy, you see that actually, like, it's not what your mind made it out to be. It's actually completely different when you experience it. But
it's just like fear is making it so big. But like when I allow myself to tune into that little bit, I'm like, oh, actually, it's beautiful. I guess that is the beauty of like pushing our boundaries. So I feel like we create our comfort zone, our box that we live in. And then we feel scared to, okay, what is outside of the box? I'm fearful. But once we allow ourselves, let go outside of the box, let's create a bigger box, bigger reality. And every time it's just like pure joy. It's beautiful. And then for me, every time I feel like, oh no, there's just beauty out there.
Yeah.
It's just like my mind was creating the fear and resistance, but once I allow it to happen, it's just beauty. That is how my journey with the sexual magic happened too. And I felt like it would be maybe so much like shame, sadness, trauma, that maybe I won't be able to handle it. But once little by little we do the work, Olivia guides me. Olivia opened my road and path.
We did a little other things too, but
it was a lot, but it was a journey. And then when I go there, I'm like, it is not anything I expected. It is pure bliss.
Yeah.
But it's just like our human form and then our human journey. Sometimes it takes time to choose going through that path.
Yeah. Yeah, the biggest thing that's coming up for me is I also had such a fear of the unknown, because you do not know what's out there.
Anything
might come. But I feel like, yes, mushrooms also were that greatest teacher of stepping into the fear of the unknown and seeing that actually there's so much magic in the unknown. And if we're able just to go through it, it just changes our perspective completely. And that's where that creation happens. That's where that magic happens, when we're able to just kind of face it, go into it, and start to just experience it versus just being the
I guess everything is about taking action in life. This is about healing, this is about the personal life, business, no matter what. Everything is about taking action, little or big. But whenever we go to our trauma and the wound response, we just cannot take action. And I guess it's okay. I feel like I really want, like, whoever personally comes to our life, I try to say, it's okay. You're not taking action right now. It is fine. You're feeling this right now. It is fine. It's just like a part of the journey. It's like I feel like every day we making a progress. We are in like a beautiful game of life, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But once we take the action,
then it starts getting juicy.
Then everything gets so beautiful.
Yeah. I think that's what I always like to focus too on is, not forcing the healing or the growth. I know we spoke about this earlier today, but just knowing that, like, hey, you can go slow with this. You don't have to put so much pressure on yourself to, really figure it out. A lot of it, I think, is like our mind wants to figure things out, but there's other ways to learn and to grow and to expand.
And I guess I feel like healing is layers. So you may figure something out. You think like you figure out, something else comes. You go deeper. Yeah. It's just like a process. And I feel like it's not an ending process. It's not like you sleep one day, you wake up next, and you figure everything out. And also, it's not like you knowing that there are things you need to figure out. It's not something hold you back to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Because it's like sometimes I feel like people might think that, oh, okay, then like if there are things to figure out, this means that I'm not complete. This means that I'm wrong. This means no. It's just like there are things to grow. But like as a person, wherever we are right now at this moment, we're just as beautiful as where we're gonna be tomorrow and where we were yesterday.
Yeah.
It's just like we are so magical. We are so beautiful. It's just like we're gonna tune into different feelings and experiences in a way when we keep growing.
Yeah. And I love bringing this up as we don't have to be fully healed, to be in a partnership or to get that love and and that's what I always encourage everyone is, this healing process, it's an expansion, it's a journey, and you don't have to do it alone.
Oh, yes.
you can heal with others. And actually, I think that's where the most expansion happens, when you're able to grow, with others. And it's, it doesn't have to be this solo journey. And yeah, just, it's like, as you mentioned, it's like, oh, you're perfect and beautiful as you are in this moment. It's part of being. And you can also, grow with others and grow with that partner.
Exactly.
And heal together and expand together.
How beautiful would it be? Because we always talk about being in a conscious partnership. It's just like, imagine you have someone fully observing you, knowing you, and then can be a mirror back to you for the things that you are not even aware, and then hold space when things comes. And then it's just like, sometimes it's as simple as knowing that you are loved in that moment. It's a massive shift and healing. So it's like, when you have partner, you go through something, and then oh yeah, I'm being loved, I'm like in my vulnerable self, I'm in my wound, I'm in my trauma, but I'm still loved. I feel like the frequency of unconditional love heals so many things. It's just like a major shift and healing on its own. So hopefully soon. Hopefully we're working on that too.
No, but that is like, actually, because it reminded me on that same mushroom journey, as you mentioned, is like fully being vulnerable and seen and still loved, by the other, the other person is huge. And, that was so special to me too. And I went into my confusion land. Once I went into the bathroom dimension, as I like to call it. So I was in such confusion, and, I was asking for help. I mean, part of me was asking, but not asking. That was a journey itself. And so in that moment when I was so vulnerable, really just in my confusion and just so not there, you were able to, at this point too, it's like we were in the bathroom. It was like I was, it was that time of the month for me, and I just didn't really understand what was happening to my body, where I was. So when you came and you really were there to just see me and be like, hey, I'm here. And at the moment, I didn't even know what was happening. But later on, once I started integrating, I really saw that, hey, this was a moment where I let someone in to see me, that perhaps I was never able to, because I didn't want to, see people or have people see me in my weakness. And so, it was just, I remember just, I was probably amazed too. I was like, I didn't understand, like, how are you able to love me so much, when I'm so broken, like, let's say,
I know. But for me, it's like that journey, that's the first one we had. It was so much about the feminine love. But I was amazed too, first of all, how much love, frequency, and energy there in the universe, and how we tap in. It was like, I'm pulling love there, and it's more calm. It's like it's in abundance. And then when I see you there vulnerable, I'm like, oh my God, how much I can love someone a lot more when I see they're so raw, and I still get goosebumps, raw and true self. And I'm like, as there's no end from my love that I can pour to Olivia. It's just like doubling, and it's like exponentially growing more when you are so raw. And I saw the beauty, that the pain you're going through, the confusion you're going through, and I'm like, oh my God, how powerful she is. She's sitting with her inner work, her shadow work, how powerful she is sitting there and doing the work. And I'm like, I was amazed. I was like, I look at it, I'm like, there's not a single thing not to love about Olivia. And in that moment, I couldn't find, there's not a single thing not to love about it. And then I just took that love, and then whoever we were, our other friends, we were having journey. And I'm like, actually, when we allow ourselves, I feel like there's not a single thing not to love about others and ourselves. And then when that frequency came in, I'm like, we shifted. When you allow that to happen, you to receive. When I allow myself to give, I'm like, yes, we shifted. I saw that shift is happening.
Making me get teary-eyed. So much love.
Can we cry for a second?
Just give us a moment.
Wow. Oh, I go through that again. So beautiful.
No, it was so powerful, And thank you for seeing me fully.
Oh, yes. Thanks for letting me be there. Beautiful.
So powerful.
What else?
Okay, so since we're on that topic of that experience, there was also a moment too. We always talk about how we saw you as this Egyptian goddess energy. I mean, it was crazy. It was just like you were wearing this black dress and
Like that.
yes, a lot of black. Always wearing a lot of black. And I just remember, so for me, I always, like, you know, on mushrooms, I guess you could say that I see people's maybe their soul type or, you know, really it's like I see, you know, what they really have or what they embody. And it was this just powerful, majestic, like long dress and this like Egyptian, like goddess energy. And yeah, we all saw like, it was like your face was like golden and yeah, just able to kind of, you know, either just hold the space or share the energy. At that point, I don't remember exactly what was happening, but I just remember being so mesmerized and like in the witnessing of someone's like power and beauty. And it was a really cool experience.
Yeah, that was the moment when I went to knowingness. That's what I called it.
Yes,
moment.
and that while I was in confusion, I was able to, I think that's what happened is I was able to be in awe of the knowingness.
Yes.
While I was still in confusion. So it was like, oh, how do I get to that level of...
Yeah, so I really felt like on that moment, like my consciousness was elevating.
Yeah.
It felt like it's a higher frequency that what I was there in that moment. It was just elevated. And then I was like, I'm holding the key to universal knowledge. I'm like, I know everything. Yeah. It was like the dimension of knowingness, which I believe that we all just have access to go there when we allow that universal energy and the source and the knowledge to tap into that frequency. And I was like just asking questions and everything was downloading. It was like boom, boom, boom. And I close my eyes. I see what is going on each of you, your life. What are the experiences you're going in that moment? And then I just open my eyes. I channeled information. It was just like, I know everything. It was so powerful. And the other thing it came to my mind, like, it was like, I know everything, but the message was like, it wasn't the first time I've been there. I felt like the dimension of knowingness, I revisit. I just go there often. I've been there before.
Yeah. And I mean, we're able to do this in sessions as well. I feel like that's what is so powerful is like doing these tantric. Tantra really showed me that, yes, you can really get to that knowingness from an experience that maybe you were like, why did this happen to me? I have no idea. Like, you know, why am I so sad about it? Through these different tools and exercises, you're able to shift your perspective completely to a point of like knowing why it happened, why you chose it, what you were really learning from it. And it's that power. It's really the knowingness and the remembering and knowing that, you know, you made these choices and you chose this for this greater evolution that is just so powerful. Yeah.
And also having your power that you can choose something else
now. Yes, exactly.
Because now it's like you realize that is what I was choosing. 32 years of my life, that is what I subconsciously choosing. But it served me for the greater good, but it's not anymore.
Yes.
Now it's time for a change. And then now I try to choose something different. It's just like a conscious shift.
Yeah.
And it's just like, again, when we did our last session, that was so powerful that I didn't imagine that how my mom and dad and their relationship imprint, how much impact it has to me and my life. Yeah. And how I observed my mom's energetic response to be a partner. And then how I embodied how my mom is living through her partnership story, which I don't feel totally resonate. I fully respect, but it's not the creation I want. And I realized that how I just embody her, and it was time to just let go and then experience and explore what I want to embody.
Yeah. Yeah, that power of choice.
Yes, it's like every time, I guess, when we do the work, the message I keep hearing, like, I'm like sometimes making things so complicated. How I'm gonna let go of this? This is happening again. As the anger comes, it's just like the cluster of emotions, like how? And then the one clear message comes always. It is as simple as setting your intention.
Yes.
sometimes it's like, yeah, it's not that easy to practice this on a daily life or like the bigger manifestations we want, but it's always the message comes as simple as setting your intention.
Yeah, intention, so powerful.
What intention we are setting right now?
Yes,
Let's set an intention. Let's do that.
All right, what intention? Let's see.
Let me see. Let's think. Give us a second.
Yeah, I guess the intention that was even coming before when I was in the bathroom, I love getting all my like downloads in the bathroom. Was this intention for this, like this podcast to show people, one, how like the love you can have for someone and their journey, because we don't really share that love enough, I feel. It's like sharing these stories, I really want people to experience that there's so much power in allowing yourself to be seen and to receive the love, because people want to give that love. And I think this journey, we're just all learning how to love
and
and be loved, yes, and be loved most importantly.
And attract love.
And attract love.
Of us, I don't know who. For some people, I'm just saying, they want to attract love.
So, I would say, that's my intention is just for people to see and believe that there is this love that exists, and that there is this connection and this magic, and being able to evolve together, really, and expand.
Beautiful. For my intention, when we were talking about it, I guess we set this intention before talking about podcast. It's just like showing everyone that healing is such a joyful process. It's so playful. There's so much joy. There's so much fun in it. And then we love laughing through the things. And it's just like, once you grow out of things, the things you felt so much emotion might become a day. It's so joyful. You can laugh about it. And then you can just share this healing with others. You can play together with others. You can make fun of it. It's just like, it's a playful journey. And then maybe showing people that how much fun we are having. And then like, even though we're doing something, we think that we heal. I'm like, Olivia, it's happening again. It's happening again. I'm at 0. But it's like, sometimes the silly mistakes we make, it's just so much fun. It's even sometimes so much fun to make mistake. It's fun to go through the pain, and then being just childish about it. And just showing people that healing work is just pure joy.
Yes.
And then let's not be scared together. Let's play with it
Let's
together.
play together. Let's play together. And yes, 100%. I love it.
What else? Ask me. I want to talk.
Ooh, now
asking.
Okay, let's see what else. Maybe
going on there?
About being a galactic shaman. Let's explore that.
To be honest, I don't know. I'm still trying to explore it, because it is so interesting for me, the most fascinating thing that I can travel through time. That blows my mind. When we do our sessions, it's like, when you take me, if the memory comes, when we go to that memory, let's say I'm 5 years old, I'm right now 32, whatever years old I'm right now, more than 5. More than 5 years old, I'm 5 years old, let's call it like that. And then it's just like, when we go back to that memory, I'm like, I see myself that I am my current self right now, 32 years old. And then I'm also at my 5 years old at the same time. I feel like there's emotions. There's like a dimension where the emotions and traumas and everything stored. And then there's no time there. Everything is stored as if happening right now. So I'm like, if I can be my 5 years old self, my 32, I can watch both of them talking. I can witness what is happening separately on both of them. I feel like that is the travel through time. Actually, that's travel through time to a place time doesn't exist.
No, I mean, it happens all the time in sessions where, you're your younger self, sometimes even a future self pops up. I mean, that's even gets a little crazier. And it's like, each time in that session, the emotion is so strong, as if you'd be living it right now.
As if happening right now, if we don't release it.
And that's why it's so important just to release and shift these subconscious patterns and emotions, because that's actually what's blocking you from, attracting maybe that partnership that you're really seeking, or really anything that you're desiring. So it's, the time thing is...
When you say desire, I want to mention there's another thing I really love in your practice, because you always ask, what is your desire?
Yes.
And then when you ask that question, it brings so much clarity. Sometimes we don't know what we desire.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then that's the reason we cannot manifest. Or it brings like, sometimes I desire this, but I don't think so I would.
Yeah.
Or sometimes like, okay, I desire multiple things. I cannot choose. That question is so powerful. Every time we ask, what is your desire? I'm like, I need to take a pause there. I need to stop. It is such a powerful and profound question. And it's just like thinking about what is my desire initiates so much healing in it.
Yeah.
And then when we embody what is our desire, it's another way of the next step in that healing.
Next step, yeah. I mean, it's so crazy because, sometimes we don't even ask ourselves, what do we really want? Or we're afraid. We're afraid of, what if I do get that? How is my life going to change?
Yeah, our last session, when you ask, I guess it was about the partnership that we were talking.
Yeah.
Then that was my desire to go to to have that partnership, that at least like trying to figure out what is partnership I want and all.
Yeah.
But when you ask like my desire, she asked that, and I'm like, oh my God, Olivia, I'm in so much fear right now.
I'm like, up real quick.
you ask my desire. The second you ask me, even trying to tune into my desire triggered so much fear. Then I'm like, okay, this fear is blocking it.
Yeah.
And then we just dive into that fear, and everything came.
Yeah, everything came up.
A lot came.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's powerful.
I don't remember that the other sessions we had.
Yeah, time's getting a little weird, but
I remember the first one.
We did some you always go into you used to go into past lives a lot. Now we're doing a lot with inner child. Yes, inner child's coming up a lot.
Oh yeah, we did my father. The father's
the masculine energy. Yes, we did that. And it's always different. I mean, that's part of what I love this work. It's like I never know what's gonna come through. Like you don't know.
Whatever needs to come, it's like the beauty when we allow. It's just whatever needs to come comes to surface.
Yeah.
And it's different each time. It's surprised, that is the unknown. Like sometimes before we start our sessions, I'm like, Olivia, I'm scared. Something will come. Fear is kicking in.
Yeah.
I
that
feel
always
the fear. I'm like,
in,
almost like wanting to postpone, push it, find an excuse. The fear is coming in. Then it's every time unknown. It's just we don't know what is next.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point, because usually, there is that fear that starts to creep in. And typically just because we know, something's going to come up that's going to change how we currently live our life. We're going to see something that we can no longer unsee. And that's going to, make you have to change, the way that you go about your life.
A lot of change.
But I feel like I always just want to let people know that like there is so much, like we talk about this magic. This magic in the unknown, and that actually imagine it could be even better than you could have ever imagined, right? Like it could be, I think that's what it is. It's like once that fear creeps in, you think it like whatever that's going to come up, you think it's going to be, I don't know, like really mess things up in your life, right? But actually it's coming up because it wants you to really have a better experience and really just grow and evolve in a new way.
Yeah, so when the fear comes, it's just like, okay, that's the direction to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
You
are
know
in the
you're doing
right
something right if the
direction.
fear is creeping in. So we say, like, make friends with fear.
Oh yeah, like camera fear.
Right?
Like
We're practicing.
total
We're
anxiety.
exploring.
Yeah, I want to cover my face.
Okay, well, yeah, I think that's
all.
I think that's all, yeah.
No. Till morning. I want to tell my entire life. So
Well, this is good for episode 1.
yes.
And
Thank you,
yeah,
Olivia.
until next time,
I really
thank
wanna thank you that the journey you opened in my life, that I even wasn't ready to think about it. I even wasn't ready to acknowledge that it exists. Like I was that much dismissive and unaware that there's a possibility of dancing into sexual energy, allowing feminine energy to flow, and then seeing what kind of person I can be with that. And then thanks for you opening that door for me and staying in that journey for me, holding my hand, allowing me to go through, evolving with me. It's just so beautiful. It's just, I want just everyone to know, like, join us.
yes, come join the party.
Join us. It's so beautiful. We are just having unreal, magical experiences all the time. But like, I'm just so grateful. You open.
Love you so much.
Camera turned off.
Aww. Thank you, Hazal.
Thank you.
And you've been instrumental in my growth as well. Seeing you and your power really just inspired me so much to, wow, it's amazing how well you channel, how well you also share love and are so giving. And you really taught me about partnership and how, you don't get bored in long-term relationships. So they learned, what it means
because we grow together. It's just like we expand together. It's like I feel like relationships might be boring if you stay where you started.
Yeah.
But if you start like a family, 2 of you, whatever partnership it is, and then more joins, friends coming, families coming, experiences are coming, and then the goals and then dreams and then the journey is just one addition to another, and then it just evolves every day. It gets more exciting for me.
Yes, it gets more exciting. Yes.
More exciting, definitely, from where it started.
Yes.
Imagine we stop talking.
After this, we stop being friends.
Each other.
No.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
All right, well, thanks guys for joining. Till next time.
Goodbye.
Say goodbye.
Wow, what a great way to kick off this podcast. My heart is so full. And if you listened all the way through, I want to just thank you so much. This work has really changed my life, and I just want to share this with everyone because your life can really become magical. So if you want to learn more, just click on those show notes. I have all my information there. And if you're curious about working one-on-one with me, feel free to go on my website at besexessful.com and book a free discovery call. Till next time, stay magical.